So we have had a most extraordinary decade. In 2010, Meryl and I handed over the leadership of Southlands Church to Alan and Renella and the team, and they've done a fabulous job. During that time, I felt God say to me, I'm going to take you places to help you reimagine church. I don't want you to go in with a critical eye. I want you to go and find that one or two or three things that you can learn from that community. And so we spent time with 20 people in the lounge somewhere in the world through to mega churches of thousands, each one of them with pencil in hand saying, what can I learn from this God story? And it was a delightful adventure. I think I did not anticipate us planting again. I thought it was to help me to coach and to train other church planters. And then about 2.5 years ago, I felt the smile of heaven peeping through the clouds saying, it's time. And I must say, it was with kind of prophetic curiosity, really at a time when I should be at my peak earning capacity, I should be leading my biggest church by all the world standards, I should be most famous, and here I am starting again at ground zero. And every time I looked heavenward, I saw the Father smile, and I knew it was right. I didn't rush into it, which was out of character. I tend to kind of do a barnstorming event. But this time was different. This time was us pensively meditating and reflecting on what does church planting need to look like at this time in this context. We started off by a couple of friends meeting twice a month, Sunday nights, having a meal together, talking, dreaming, praying, and wondering how that could unfold into something else. I also spent a lot of time reading through Acts chapter 2, 36 to 47, over and over and over again. What are you saying, Lord? What are we missing? What do we read so comfortably that we are blinded to the beautiful moments in the passage? And the more I read and the more we discussed, the more intrigued I became by the possibility of a church plant. I was instantly arrested by the notion that Peter said it's for you, it's for your children, and for those who are far away. And I said, Lord, if our mission can be for those who are our children and those who are far away, then it sounds like an adventure worth having. I remember sitting outside with two couples. It was a Sunday night. Meryl was in South Africa. Tion, our son, was working. One couple I hadn't met before. One was newer friends. And we had steak and salad, had a bottle of wine together. And I remember thinking, all right, God, if we can do this, then I'm absolutely a big yes to church planting. Now we're 1 year, 7 months in. And there are 4 anchor ideas that have shaped our community. The first is dining room table Christianity. The more we looked into it, the more we found it everywhere in the text. It's timeless. It is in every culture, every ethnicity, every gender, every age group. Everyone eats, and it's like this beautiful mystery that's right in front of our eyes, and we forgot it. We neglected it. Church history tells us we move from the table to the pulpit. We move from Mass as the central moment of church gatherings to the pulpit being the central high point. And thank goodness for the Protestant reformers, for sure. But the price tag seemed to be the pulpit replaced the table. And yet for the millennials, the table is their pulpit. It's where life is discussed and processed. It's where they are seen and heard. And so for us, the idea of the dining room table being a one anchor point was instant, immediate, and essential. The second was worship, because we do want people to encounter God. There is a simplicity to worship, not a performance, not a big band sound, but to create worshipers means let's keep the music as simple as we can, and let's magnify people's opportunity to be worshipers themselves. Thirdly, prayer. Every move of God, and Meryl and I have been in 5, we have seen there is a great empowerment of the priesthood. In fact, David Bosch, in his book Transforming Mission, speaks about the fact that it's one of the major characteristics of Move of God. The priesthood is multiplied. People are active players, and that's what prayer does. Everyone can contribute, everyone can play, all the gifts can operate. And then lastly, storytelling. The Bible is the story of God. It's about the story of men. Jesus was the great storyteller, and stories are still the most compelling and powerful narrative as a model for preaching anyway. And I think it adds to the fact that everyone's story matters. We have loved seeing from the most radical stories to the most humble stories, and yet each finds its place in the Genesis legacy because they all matter. And so these four anchor ideas are shaping us, forming us, and we're delighted by them as we explore them. It's the dining room table, it's worship, prayers, and storytelling. That's our story.